Welcome to episode 1 of Shark Mind. So, the whole idea of this YouTube channel, or at least a big part of it, is going to be attacking different thoughts that create negative emotions, and that is what puts us in a bad mindset that makes us lose money. And to make that happen, the first thing we need to do, or at least for me, I had to do, is have a journal. So, there's different type of journals, and I I have all of them. You have your bullet journal to write stuff down, your tasks that you need to do, or just anything that comes on your mind. Because for me, I need to do something. I don't write it down. I'm going to forget. I'm not going to do it. So that's one of them. Then it's the regular journal that for me is this one that I just try every day to write. So in the future, I could go back and I have journals now for like 4 years. So it's kind of fun. I write a page a day and then I read a page that's like from 3 years ago. So that's a lot of fun. But no, the one we're talking about today is more of an emotion journal. It's pink too, and it has a J because I'm Joey. You could have a manlier one if you want, but this is mine. And here we are going to write down the emotions we have when they come to us. So the way I do it is I just pull out my phone. So I'm playing a session, maybe like I have aces, common one. I have aces, go all in and I lose, and this gets me. And maybe that's the second time in a row that I have over pairs. I had aces and I had kings and I lost both of them. So I'm having those thoughts, like I'm supposed to be winning these hands most of the time. I just lost 2 back to back. Well, I'll just pull out my phone and I'll write it down. In the moment, I'm not trying to figure out replies or responses to it, because in the moment, I just want to focus on the next hand. In the moment, I'm trying my best to let that thought go. So I could be focused on the next hand that's going to happen. So if I'm trying to think of a response to that thought, I'm going to be distracted and I'm not going to be playing my best. So what I do is I write it down on my phone and I try my best just to let it go. I'm going to be like, okay, I wrote it down. Let's move on, and I'll get to that thought when we get home. So when you get home, I usually let a day go past, that I have no emotions anymore towards it. It's just something of the past, that I have a clear mind. And that's when I put it in my journal. So I pull out my phone, I write down the thought, and I start thinking. So for example, maybe that one is like, I lost back to back at aces, I lose, and then I have kings, I lose again. Like, I'm supposed to be winning most of the time. What's going on, and I start figuring out rational replies to that. And, you can think of plenty. It's just take your time at the beginning. It may be weird, but, just think, okay, like you're supposed to, I don't know exactly how many percent, but, like 80, a little over 80% of the time I'm supposed to win. That's still a good amount of time I'm going to lose, especially when I'm steadily winning. Like, okay, 2 times in a row, it's not that often, but okay, how many ways did you go to the flop? Especially playing low stakes. Maybe you went to the flop against 4 people. Well, okay, then your aces or kings aren't that big of a favorite anymore. Did you consider that? So you just start attacking it and finding out rational responses, and you remember. So like that in the future, when that thought comes back, well, you already prepared to reply. You don't have to start figuring it out and it takes your thoughts and it just takes you away from the game. You already have a response to that thought. So the thoughts, when it comes, it doesn't turn into an emotion, because you tackle it when it's still a thought, and that's as far as it goes. So for the first episode, I guess that's it. It's just journaling. I couldn't do this without it, because, when the game's over, I don't remember plenty of the thoughts I had, so writing it down and then tackling other days, and that's just repetition. So the more you do it, the more thoughts you catch, the better responses you get to it, and little by little, the less often you'll have those thoughts, or maybe you even have them. I have those thoughts plenty of times now. I'm still working on it, so sometimes it still get me a little bit, or sometimes more. But I just feel them, and I already know, okay, that's just not true. I know, I know that, oh, I'm card dead. I'm just being card dead for hours. It's like, I know, like I play a lot, so I'm going to be card dead a lot. Like this is part of the game. Were you complaining about being card dead? Well, that's poker. What do you want? You want to be running like a god every time? Obviously, that's not going to happen. So yeah, that's it. So to get started, I recommend that. Like you see here, it's got a bunch of thoughts. I have 2 different colors between my thought and the response, but you don't have to do that. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Leave in the comments if you have any questions, thoughts, ideas. Maybe you have a thought that you need help figuring out a response. Just leave it down and I'll answer it gladly. And I'll see you guys next week where we will tackle one of the thoughts that are in my journal. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next Sunday at 11 a.m.